Let's be honest, Switch 2 game prices are absolutely brutal. $70, even more at $80 for some. It has got a lot of people upset, and rightfully so. But if you're planning to grab the new system, you're going to need some games, and that means spending wisely. In this video, I'm breaking down the must-have Switch 2 exclusives that are actually worth your money based on the gameplay we've seen, performance, and the value. If you're buying a few games at launch, let's make them count. First up is one of the controversial ones with that super high price tag of $80 in the US and £75 here in the UK for me, and that is Mario Kart World. Why is this a must-have? It's Mario Kart with an open world twist. This is a big innovation for the franchise and a big departure from the usual closed off circuits we are used to. We're going to have 40 plus characters to use, 24 player support on the grid, so 24 racers. That is going to be chaos. There's a big open world to explore, off-roading, boats, rail grinding, wall jumping. This is not your typical Mario Kart, and that has got me super excited because this will be even smoother and better than the previous Mario Karts on the Switch 2 with the extra horsepower the Switch 2 has. So what about the value for this? Well, it's multiplayer and there's going to be a ton of long-lasting replayability, which makes this an incredible day one game to own as it launches the same day as the Switch console. So probably most people are going to get their hands on this if they come to terms with the price. So you are going to want to get your hands on it to get involved. And with these new social features, if you pick up a camera, you know, some of the accessories, which you can check out in our accessory video, which I'll leave linked down below, it is going to be an absolute blast playing multiplayer with your friends in Mario Kart World, seeing them on the screen when you smash them with a blue shell. Life will be good. Remember though, despite the $80 price tag, this is one you could justify as it is our first real Mario Kart game in over a decade, as Mario Kart 8 originally was on the Wii U, and now you could save even more by getting the console bundle with Mario Kart World, which is what I ended up doing. And I'm all against like digital games. I always try and pick up physical games, but the price saving here was huge. So instead of the game costing me £75 in the UK, it worked out, I think, at like being 30 or 35 or 40 pounds when you include it as part of the bundle with the console. So I just got that, and plus, I'm not going to lie, trying to get my hands on any Switch console was a nightmare. So that was the one I managed to get in my basket and get through to checkout, and it had the Mario Kart game with it. So it is what it is. That is what I've got, but it can save you some money. So keep that in mind if you have the choice between buying just the standalone console and the console with the Mario Kart World bundle in it, as it can save you a pretty penny. And my next exclusive Nintendo Switch 2 game pick is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Oh yes, you get to tour about your Nintendo Switch 2 and pay for it? Yeah, I'm joking here. Why is this not free? Why is this not a pack-in game which we get included with our Nintendo Switch 2 purchase? What is Nintendo playing at with this one? I don't get this one at all. This should have been free, included with every Nintendo Switch 2. Heck, even PlayStation got Astro's Playroom. Come on, Nintendo. Now we're jumping a little bit further ahead in time here, as this one unfortunately will not be a launch title, and it's the game I'm most excited about getting on the Switch 2. Yes, it is Donkey Kong Bananza. This releases slightly after launch, like I said, but it is worth locking in right now. Get your pre-orders in, people, as this is the first 3D Donkey Kong game in over 20 years. Plus, did you see the gameplay? Like, it has fully destructible environments. It gave me Super Mario Odyssey vibes, but with Donkey Kong just smashing the place into oblivion. What is not to love about that? Super Mario Odyssey is possibly my favourite Mario game ever, if not one of my favourite games ever. It was just absolute magic to play on the original Switch, and getting this so early in the Switch 2's life cycle, Donkey Kong Bananza, this is a good compromise, because I know we all wanted a 3D Mario right out the gate. We didn't get that, but we've got Donkey Kong Bananza. This should tide us over until Mario arrives in his new 3D land world adventure. But this looks very similar with sandbox exploration, a ton of terrain destruction, underground worlds, puzzles. There's even side-scrolling sections which throw back to the OG Donkey Kong games. You know, it's like Super Mario Odyssey meets Donkey Kong, as I said, and that is a big win in my book. The extra horsepower of the Switch is clearly being put to use here with real-time physics and destruction that just would not be possible on the original Switch. So this makes this a major first-party Nintendo platformer that will likely be a showcase for the Nintendo Switch 2's hardware for a long time to come, and it just looks so much fun. That is what Nintendo games are all about to me, just being completely unique, off-the-wall fun, dancing to the beat of their own drum, and Donkey Kong Bonanza looks exactly like that. I cannot wait to jump into this. This is my #1 most wanted, most hyped game for the Switch 2. Let me know in the comments which game you're most excited for to play on the Switch 2 also, as I'd love to know and I'll respond to all of your comments. Next up is another racing game, but this one is way faster than Mario Kart World, and this one is an anti-gravity futuristic racer called Fast Fusion. Now, this may sound familiar-ish to some of you if you had a Nintendo Switch when it launched originally. One of the launch games was Fast RMX, which is still to this day one of my favourite Switch games. When the Switch originally launched, I got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Fast RMX. That was my two games I got for the machine, and I was not disappointed as they were both absolutely amazing. So this is from Shinnen, which is a German indie dev who also brought us The Tourist, funnily enough, which is completely different game from Fast Fusion or Fast RMX, but also a really nice little game. But this is a must play because Fast RMX was a standout launch title for the original Switch, and this is its spiritual successor but on absolute steroids. You're going to have ultra fast anti-gravity racing, track fusion, hypersonic jumps, local and online multiplayer. Yes, you can do 2-player split screen, 4-player split screen if you grew up loving games like F-Zero and Wipeout. This is like they've had a baby and then they've given birth to Fast Fusion. So you're going to want to get involved in this, but you need to be on point because this game is so freaking fast. Seriously, 4K HDR support at 60 frames per second and up to 120 FPS at 1080p. This one is going to be a visual flex for the new system. And honestly, I cannot wait to try this game at 120 FPS in handheld mode. It is just going to be mind-bogglingly fast. If you've not checked out Fast RMX, it's still available for sale right now for your Switch, and I'm sure it'll work on the Switch too. It's well worth checking out, and that's what's good about these games here. It's indie price with AAA punch, so you're going to get an awesome game for, if it's the same price as Fast RMX, that was $20, so it won't break the bank. Far cheaper than, you know, the $80 we're talking about for Mario Kart World, sorry. So well worth checking out, a great competitive experience if you want something different from Mario Kart, or just a really fun game to bulk up your Switch 2 launch day library. I really recommend you pick up Fast Fusion, because you know I will, and I'll be covering it here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe for that too. The next game on my list, we do not have a launch date for, but we know it's going to be this year, so 2025, and I have my fingers crossed that it is going to launch on the launch day of the Switch 2 or very close to it, because we've known about this game for a while now. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. It's finally here after 8 years of waiting, and it's launching both on the Switch and the Switch 2, but the Switch 2 is where you are going to want to play this. First person exploration, FPS game, story driven, you've got new psychic powers to use, really stunning cinematic presentation, and on the Switch 2 you'll get full 4K 60 FPS or 1080p 120 FPS support, improved lighting and textures, and there's this new way to control the game with the optional mouse style Joy-Con controls. If you're sitting at a table and you're playing your Switch in tabletop mode, this could be really cool to to test out for some added accuracy using the mouse mode. I cannot wait to try that out for myself, as I've never played a Switch game like that, so it's going to be interesting, it's going to be new, it's going to be fresh, it's going to be perfect for solo players or big time Metroid fans, and I think this could be a sleeper game of the year contender. Samus Aran is back, baby, and looking better than ever. This will be an absolute visual showcase for the Switch 2 early on in its life cycle. I'm so hyped for this. Nintendo, please just give us a release date. And the price, what is the price going to be with this one? Nintendo's pricing structure is bonkers right now, it's all over the place. I'll do another video explaining it, but they're saying it's based on the value of the game, which is why Mario Kart World is $80 versus, you know, Donkey Kong Bonanza is far less. I'm sure it's like 70 or 60. So why? So what is Metroid Prime 4 going to be if that's not got multiplayer and stuff in it? Is it going to be the same price as Donkey Kong Bonanza? Fingers crossed, only time will tell, but I'll make sure to keep you all informed here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe for all things Switch 2 here on the channel. Next up is an old one, which is making a return, and that is Zelda Breath of the Wild and also Tears of the Kingdom. So why is this a must-have for your Switch 2? Well, there is a Switch 2 version of each of these games, which you can buy. They will cost you full price, obviously, but if you already own these games, which I think many of you will do, you probably bought these on your original Switch if you're upgrading from the Switch to Switch 2, keep a hold of that game, because you get the Switch 2 upgrade free with a Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack subscription. That is huge. So that is like, you could potentially have 2 Switch 2 launch day games already in your library waiting to go. This is going to be a nice upgrade here. Beautiful open world exploration games, epic storytelling, combat, crafting, puzzle solving, now running even smoother, sharper and faster on the Nintendo Switch 2. So these higher resolutions, better frame rates and faster load times are going to make a big difference to the Legend of Zelda games, which can get a little bit choppy if you have played any of them on the Switch original hardware. You may already own one or both, just download the upgrade and you're ready to go at no extra charge. And if you don't have the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack yet, don't worry, I will show you a way to get it much cheaper and lock in that price in just a moment. And let's not forget, this could be a bonus entry in itself, but having access to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack gives you access to a bunch of amazing GameCube games, which are arriving on the Nintendo Switch on launch day. So you've got like Soul Calibur, you have got stuff like F-Zero, there's so much cool stuff which will be dropping onto Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, so it makes it a must-have for your Switch 2. If you're picking up something different for launch, let me know in the comments. I love hearing all your picks. And if you want to save money on Nintendo Switch Online, click on the next video on screen. I'll walk you through how to get it cheaper.